Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com. In this tutorial, we're going to just go really briefly over how to set up your project to use JSTL tagging. That's Java Standard Template Library, I think, or JSP Standard Template Library maybe. So if you're already familiar with servlets and JSPs, or if you've seen my servlet and JSP course, then you'll know how to use this. But I just want to put one video in this spring tutorial, just so that if you've never seen it before and don't know what it is, you can get started using it. And again, I'll refer you to my servlet and JSP course if you want more information on this. But at the moment, we're outputting the values of attributes that we've set in our controller here, just using expression language directly in here in our JSP, or using this embedded Java, neither of which can be recommended. Naked expression language like that or embedded Java are really not a good idea. So we're going to use another tag-based system here called JSTL, which will enable us to use tags that can kind of safely output the values of attributes and stuff in our JSP. In fact, there's a lot you can do with JSTL, and we're going to be using it a lot in this tutorial series. So I won't explain it in depth, but I'll just kind of explain it as I'm going along a bit, so that you can at least get off the ground using it if you don't know it. So the first thing to do is, well, let's look at the web, because we need some documentation here, and I'm going to search for JSTL core. So we want the template library core tags here. So I'm going to search for those, and let's try this top link here, which helpfully says JSTL core. And we can see here this taglib directive, and we need that at the top of our JSP page in order to be able to use this. So let's copy this and go back to Eclipse here and go to our JSP, and I'm going to paste it, let's paste it as a second line maybe, directly underneath this taglib that we've already got there, directive that we've already got here. So in JSPs you can have these various directives, like this page directive and taglib directive, that have to go right at the top of the file, and they start with percent and an @ sign like that. This is a taglib directive here, which says which tag libraries we're going to use, and JSTL is a tag library, or it contains within it various tag libraries. And tags, of course, are just things like this, like a head tag in HTML. So this is a library of tags that we can use, and they start with the prefix C, and this URI is kind of a namespace, basically. It looks like a URL, but I don't think it has any significance as such as a URL. It's not like your page is going to contact this URL. As far as I know, this is just kind of a namespace here, this URI thing. So having pasted that in, this C prefix with this taglib directive, if I save it, now I get an error, and the reason for that is I need to bring in the JSTL jar file. So we're using like another kind of third-party technology here, which is that, like, the philosophy of Spring, that rather than Spring redoing everything itself, it uses other kind of open source technologies wherever possible. And it's common to use JSTL with Spring, and JSTL is a very, very widely established standard in Java web programming. So we're definitely justified in using it here. So let's go to, we can use Maven to bring in the right jar file. Let's go to double-click pom.xml and go to dependencies, and making sure I'm connected to the internet, of course, I'll click add, and I'll search for JSTL. And here we've got the top one here, javax.servlet JSTL. If I expand that, we're going to need JSTL 1.2 for this tutorial. So 1.1 won't work here. We've got, in any case, the wrong taglib directive for 1.1. So make sure you get the latest version. I'll double click that and save the project. And again, making sure I'm connected to the internet, I'll right click and go to Maven update project here. Click OK after selecting my project in the list there. And then if you expand libraries and Maven dependencies, you should see that you've got JSTL 1.2.jar in there, or a later version if a later version is available. But 1.2 has been around for donkey's years now, and it is kind of an industry standard. I don't know if another version is actually expected, so you'll probably be using 1.2. Let's go back to the controller. In fact, no, let's go back to the JSP file. And now what I want to show you is we can use the JSTLC tag. So if you look for documentation on JSTL, like these are the core tags. There are other tags with other prefixes, but these are the core ones. You can use all of these for creating loops and using conditions in your conditionally displaying stuff in your JSP and so on. We're going to use the C:\out tag here. So and it tells us it's like this, but for expressions, like our Java expression tag. And the good thing about cout is it's going to escape any weird characters in our the value of the thing that we're displaying. So let's go to Eclipse, and I'm going to type here. I'll do Control Space and type C. No, that doesn't work. Let's just type a bracket here, C and Control Space. And here we go. So autocomplete is now helping us, and we can type cout. And that has a value attribute here, and there we can put expression language. So I'm just going to copy this $name and paste it in here. Let's just get rid of this stuff. So I don't want that anymore. And I'll still have this paragraph tag, I think, and I'll leave in this for the moment and save this here. So if I go back to Office Controller, let's just put in actually a bold tag, just so you can see the difference here. So I need to copy a tag because I'm having trouble typing them on this keyboard. But if I just paste in here a bold tag like that, surround this with kind of old school bold tags like this, then if I run this project now, so we're adding an attribute name with the value Tiffany, which I've surrounded in bold tags here, and in home.jsp we're displaying it two ways, one directly with expression language, and the other uses expression language to access the value of our name attribute that we set here. But the difference is that I'm using the cout tag, which will escape stuff in here. So I'll right click and go to run on server. And yes, I want to always use this particular server for this project. And let's see if this works. In fact, there's an error, and the reason for that is, if you look at the console, it's complaining about a dispatcher servlet missing, and there can only be one reason for that, since we've got the right jar included. If I right-click my project and go to Properties and Deployment Assembly, we've lost the Maven deployment assembly. I'm not sure why that happens. It may or may not happen to you, but it seems to happen to me. If I, when I add this JSTL jar, I add another Maven dependency. So let's click Add and go to Java Build Path Entries, Maven dependencies, exactly as we did before. Click Apply and OK. And now I'll try to run it again. So run on server. And now we see, so you see the difference that using naked expression language, the special characters in here just getting interpreted, and we've got Tiffany coming out in bold there. Whereas when we use the cout tag, it escapes all the weird characters in there and ensures that we don't get any weird stuff going on in our HTML. So I'll get rid of these bold tags here. And there's lots more that you can do with JSTL, and we will be doing a lot more with it. Besides just outputting stuff like this. Let's get rid of this one actually. But we'll look at that in a future tutorial. And again, if you want a specific introduction to JSTL, because we're just going to gloss over it here, we're just going to use it without explaining it in too much detail, then I refer you to my Servlets and JSPs course, or any other any other tutorial on JSTL. So that's it for this time, and until next time, happy coding.